2 cars were hired for the tracking and killing of Quando Rondo, but the mistake was that the OFF members used a credit card belonging to Lil Durk's group. These suspected killers also left just enough proof that has recently been found. Now, police say that the license plates of the cars were fake, but what else was found? And why? Have prosecutors slammed new charges on the rapper? Here's how much everything has changed and why. What the FBI found in Lil Durk's cars. It is no news that Lil Durk has been slammed with more than one criminal charge. But what many may not know is how the FBI was able to stick these charges on him. The law enforcement connected the dots following an intense investigation, particularly involving some hired cars that tied them to the Ott family. The 19-page indictment document showed that the feds had proof of the colors of the cars as well as their occupants. Court documents suggest that all 5 men implicated in the murder for hire case, namely Kevin London, Grant Deandra, Dantrell Wilson, and Asa Houston, David Brian Lindsay, and Keith Jones, tailed their target for several hours leading up to the fatal shooting. But first they made a seemingly concrete plan on how to end the life of Quando Rondo inside his black SUV Escalade in Los Angeles, California, on August 18, 2022. After booking a room in the Universal City Hotel, Grant hired 2 cars from a rental company. One was a white BMW sedan, while the other was a white Infiniti sedan, both wearing fake license plates. Grant, who did most of the buying and organizing, also gave the rest of the crew firearms, which included fully automatic machine guns, traveling in the BMW and Infiniti. The suspected killers first trailed Rondo to a downtown hotel where he was staying for his trip to LA. Then on August 19, 2022, the OFF crew tailed Rondo's black Escalade to 2 different sites using the rented white vehicle's first location was a marijuana dispensary on Flower Street in LA, and later on they tailed their target to a clothing store on Melrose Avenue in West Hollywood, California during their movement to the clothing store. All 3 vehicles, including Rondo's black Escalade, the OFF's white Infiniti, and BMW, were captured on camera as the day progressed. Killers trailed the black Escalade to a Beverly gas station. Once they stopped at this spot, Houston drove the Infiniti to an alley around the gas station, where he packed. According to the indictment, Jones and Lindsay positioned themselves at a secret distance and fired multiple shots at Quando Rondo in a bid to end his life. Photos showed the shooters positioned in different locations while aiming their weapons. Their faces were hidden behind ski masks that had been bought by Grant. Once they thought that they had eliminated their target, the men raced away from the scene in the Infiniti and BMW. In the court record, prosecutors revealed that all 5 of them reunited in a hamburger restaurant in Los Angeles County. There the men talked the job, including payments to Jones and Lindsay for what they considered a job well done. Court papers claimed that a person identified as Conspirator 2 was in the meeting and that the person facilitated the purchase of airline tickets from San Diego, California, to Chicago, Illinois, for Wilson Jones, Houston Lindsay, and himself. That same day, they all flew back to Chicago. Now let's circle back to Quando Rondo's reality. While all of this was going on, the younger rapper was unaware that he was being followed throughout his time in LA until the shooting happened. But while the suspects thought that they killed Quando Rondo, they didn't. Instead, they completely missed their target while hitting his cousin Lou Pab, whose real name is Sava Robinson. The pair had just finished pumping gas when they got ambushed by the masked gunman Quando. Rondo immediately reached out to the Los Angeles Police Department, who responded to the scene. Once they arrived, one of the officers tried to move him aside for questioning while the others attended to the injured man. As the officer continued his interrogation, another policeman motioned for the driver to come closer while other officers moved LB's body away from the vehicle. This was the moment the reality of the situation caught up with Quando Rondo, and he exclaimed, "No, no." Sadly, Quando, who did little to contain his emotions, watched his friend die. Sources confirmed that the victim was rushed to the hospital, where he was confirmed dead. At the time, Lieutenant John Radke of the Los Angeles Police claimed that the shooters had fled in a vehicle and the police were Yet to decide on the motive for the death. Interestingly, Lobb was brutally killed less than a week before he was scheduled to appear in a Chatham County Superior Court on RICO charges that have been brought against him since 2019. The deceased, alongside 10 other defendants, were accused of going on a 9-month-long crime spree that included burglary, theft, evading the police, and cruelty to children following El Po's death. Quando Rondo shared a since-deleted heartfelt tribute afterward. His representative explained that the rapper did not sustain any injuries during the shooting and that he was safe. However, Quando Rondo wanted his privacy respected. Someone who seemed not to get the memo was Lil Durk, who saw this as the perfect moment to get one over his rival. Shortly after the ugly shooting incident, Durk sensationally released a diss track where he taunted Quando Rondo's reaction to watching his cousin die by multiple gunshot wounds to the world of drill music. This might have passed on as normal gangster behavior, but according to the investigators, Durk only put the spotlight on himself. In the indictment, the prosecutors claimed that the Off founder released a song that aimed at commercializing the shooting episode. In the lyrics, Lil Durk referred to a news report that showed Quando Rondo screaming the words "no" as he watched the lifeless body of his cousin being taken out of the car. Later in the song, Durk suggests that he has the exact location of his rival and orders to hit when he raps. "He told me they got an ID. He told me they got location, go green light, go look on the news, and you see your son, you're screaming. No, the whole thing begins to make more sense if one decides to look at the alleged operations of the Off. According to prosecutors, the group had Lil Durk as its undisputed master. There, the rapper would place bounties on certain individuals that he wanted dead. The benefits to doing his bidding included payment in cash and being rewarded with lucrative music deals or opportunities affiliated with the group. What Lil Durk did not know was that he was going to get caught, especially since the feds had an informant in his group. Remember when we talked about the conspirator to well, this guy Otf Jam was allegedly a member of Durk's empire. He had wine and dined with them all, and even had a special place in Durk's heart, as the rapper gifted him with thousands of dollars to begin life again after coming out of jail. Off Jam had been in and out of prison before getting accepted by the Off family. But sources have recently confirmed that his bromance with the crew was all to get as much info for the feds. Once they had enough, the feds moved in on all 5 suspects, arresting them in Chicago on October 24, 2024, in a 4-count grand jury indict. Having caught wind of his associate's predicament, Lil Durk rightly predicted that he would be next and tried to escape the country. The rapper reportedly booked 3 international flights in an attempt to somehow confuse the law enforcement officers. One of the flights was a one-way trip to Dubai connecting through Doha, Qatar. Another was for Switzerland connecting through New Jersey. The third was a private jet to fly to Italy. Lil Durk's escape plan was finally thwarted when he was arrested by federal agents in South Florida at a Miami airport just an hour before the jet was scheduled to depart that same day. He was held in the Broward County Jail in Florida. FBI agent Sarah Corcoran said via affidavit that the Off members participated in crimes, including murder, at the direction of Lil Durk. According to her, these members complied with these demands to keep their status or relevance following his arrest. Lil Durk was quickly charged with murder for hire while he was later brought to federal custody. Recently, the rapper was also added as the lead defendant in an indictment of the already charged 5 co-defendants. The court maintains that if found guilty, these suspects could face a statutory maximum sentence of life in federal prison, while there is yet to be a decision on the murder for hire charge slammed against Lil Durk. The rapper now faces other felony charges. New charges brought against Lil Durk. The Laugh Now, Cry Later rapper who was recently slammed with a murder for charge now has more to worry about. Recall that the arrest is in connection to a 2022 shooting in a gas station, which is believed to be in retaliation for King Von's 2020 murder, but we will get to that part in a bit. As for the new charges, court documents suggest that he has been charged with a superseding federal indictment with 2 additional felony charges against him apart from the federal murder conspiracy charge. The Department of Justice says that Lil Durk now faces 1 count of using interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death. The other is a count of carrying and discharging firearms and a machine gun and possession of such firearms and furtherance to a crime of violence resulting in death following his previous arrest. A federal magistrate judge in Miami ruled against any bond, and he is currently being held in a Miami jail. This is to stand until the suspect is transferred to Los Angeles, where he will be tried according to reports. The 5 suspected killers are currently being held in federal custody in Illinois following their initial court appearance. In Chicago, they are being charged with 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, and 1 count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms and a machine gun and possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death, although several snitching reports have trailed the group since their arrest. None of the 6 suspects who will be arraigned in Los Angeles in the coming weeks have entered a plea deal, while Durk has spent years vigorously fighting the label that OTF is a violent gang. The group just can't seem to stay out of trouble. The group is also implicated in a separate case involving the slaying of Durk's rival FBG Duck. As expected, Durk has denied any involvement in FBG Duck's murder, but the feds are sure that this isn't the case at all. Davis, the assistant director of the FBI Los Angeles field office, claimed that the OTF crew was responsible for all kinds of violent acts that were inexcusable over the years. The group has been stuck in a cycle of violence and revenge, with the alleged motive behind the attempted killing of Quando Rondo being a retaliatory attack for King Von's murder, with the group getting more brazen in their illegal activities. Law enforcement agents were forced to collaborate to bring them down. According to Los Angeles Police Chief Dominic Choi, the final arrest of Lil Durk was a result of the joint efforts from different law enforcement agencies to show that indeed he was guilty of LB's murder while addressing the press. Choi claimed it was the culmination of the joint efforts of our partners in the US Attorney's Office, the FBI, and LAPD's operations, West Bureau homicide detectives, who found that Lil Durk was involved in this heinous murder. Now let's circle back to the murder of King Vo, which apparently sparked this powerful hatred to end the life of another man. It all started out with Von, an affiliate of Lil Durk, and a scene of the OTF record label getting on the hate treadmill against Quando Rondo. Interestingly, things weren't always hostile between both rappers. In fact, there are enough pictures and videos of the 2 rappers cooling off with each other to suggest that they were once friends or at least shared a mutual respect for each other at the time. Rondo was also a scene of a rapper. NBA YoungBoy's record label never broke again. Initially, things looked cool between all parties, but in the world of drill rap music, nothing stays the same for too long apparently. Something happened behind the scenes that forced King Von to take the first shot at YoungBoy in an Instagram live. V could be seen in a car that had a YoungBoy playing in the background, and he said, "Man, what TF is YB talking about? He ain't really like that you got caps in your WS," although taken as a joke by many. V's utterances sparked an online back and forth between him and YoungBoy that soon took a sour turn when V shared a picture of himself and YoungBoy's ex-girlfriend Gia. Although Jana tried to calm things down by explaining that they were only doing a song together. Hours later, the YoungBoy shared a cryptic post with the caption, "I'm going to have my son, your daughter, since you've been trolling." A YoungBoy would later share a snippet with Von's ex, Asan Dal. The collaboration seemed to have angered the rapper, as he took to Twitter with different amounts of tweets, stating that "New y'all got garbage. Try again, MF, and I got some on y'all baby moms that would make you not want to claim your kids." And as things got deeply personal when Rondo soon got dragged into the whole beef, and he understandably took the side of his label. Bar before long, Rondo and V were throwing jabs at each other, with each party threatening to beat each other up if they even cross paths. Well, they finally got their moment when they bumped into each other in the parking lot of Atlanta nightclub Monaco Hookah Lounge on November 6, 2020. Nothing has been said of what transpired inside the lounge, but surveillance footage clearly showed that Vo, who was dressed in all-white apparel, had first attacked Quando Rondo. He was also engaged in a conversation with another person from Quando Rondo's side. Unfortunately, what started as mere trading of words between the rappers online quickly escalated into a deadly shootout at some point during the shooting. Police officers arrived and engaged both parties in a bid to stop the shooting. King Vo was somehow able to flee the scene in a private car, but he arrived at a hospital moments later with several bullet wounds. About 24 hours later, it was revealed that King Vo passed away during surgery. At the time, the police arrested and charged Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, and a affiliate of Quando Rondo. Although he had sustained some injuries during the altercation and was getting treatment in a hospital in Atlanta, was charged with felony murder. Although murder is a non-bondable offense in the state of Georgia, Lil Tim was able to appeal his case to the Superior Court and was given the option of bond after posting a $100,000 bond in April 2021. There was still more good news for Lil Tim, as the charges against him were finally dropped in August 2023. His lawyer, Noah Pines, claimed that the prosecutors dropped the charges after he showed that his actions were in self-defense. In the meantime, Quando Rondo went all out with his friendship with Lil Tim. He made a song expressing thanks while adding that he would die for him. Just like how Lil Tim put his life on the line for him when he got attacked by King V in an interview with DGB Media, Rondo stated that they were brothers, emphasizing the depth of their cordial relationship.
It's a lot of people go through certain stuff, and it don't take that much for them to notice it's only us. We ain't got nobody else.
But all this only set a template for the OTF's next line of action. However, to an extent, fans may have also played a key role in how this feud descended into a dark world. Shortly after King Von's death, fans began to use the hashtag slide for King Von, which was them literally urging Lil Durk to seek out revenge against those they thought were his. While this may have just been the regular online banner for many of the fans pushing the hashtag, Durk's lyrics increasingly pointed to something sinister going the way of Rondo in his song, Aha. Lil Durk warned Quando Rondo of being backdoored via his rhymes. He goes, I can have your friend set you up. He's a middleman. In a different song, Lil Durk confirmed that there was a retaliation that happened in the summertime. And strangely, El Pab was shot on August 19th. He raps, y'all don't play like you aren't who we spanked back in the summers. Spanked him late, but get back. He ain't got a date because he doesn't come outside. Who got shot down on the other side. Another detail that points to Lil Durk having a hand in LPE's death is a post from an OFF member explaining that Lolab died from a headshot wound even before news of his death emerged. This could only mean that the OFF was there during the shooting or they were actively engaged. More recently, Brick Baby, an affiliate of Lil Durk, firmly affirmed that there was no need for fans to keep up with the slide for the Von hashtag during an April 2024 interview with DJ Academics. While responding on the slide for Von hashtag, Brick Baby said,
Oh yeah,
Slide for Von,
ain't
right?
nobody.
Yeah.
They say you can't say that no more.
Why? Oh yeah, cause of no. Like
They
who
say
died?
you can't say that no more.
Oh, cause of FBG Cash? Or who?
Nah, cause Lil Bob.
Oh.
Durk held the same sentiment during his 2023 interview with DJ Academics. The media person asked him about the slide for Von hashtags used to suggest a revenge attack, and he stated that he didn't see them anymore. Interview 3. At the time of the interview, fans didn't read much into Lil Durk's words, but after the clip resurfaced following Durk's arrest, fans have been busy connecting the dots. While some of the fans noticed that the cold look on Durk's face gave him away, others highlighted the look on the host's face, claiming that it was a moment of realization for them. They believed Durk saying he wasn't seeing the comments anymore meant he had done something about it and so had moved on to other things. Unfortunately for Durk's fans, prosecutors seem to have enough material evidence that proves Lil Durk is the #1 guilty party who truly put a bounty on Quando Rondo's head. The big question is if he will beat this case or be made to face a prison term if convicted. Meanwhile, Jones and Houston were set for a hearing this week, while the other 3 OFF members waived their right to a hearing in Chicago, and they will be sent to Los Angeles. Lil Durk is facing life behind bars, as stated earlier. Lil Durk is facing more than one charge following his alleged role in the shooting of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab, while all 6 suspects remain in Miami and are yet to be transferred to Los Angeles. The OFF founder, alongside 5 others, Jones, Houston, Lindsey Grant, and Wilson, are yet to be convicted of any killing. However, if found guilty of the crimes they're being charged with, what awaits them is a maximum life sentence, according to Somebody BL Law, a criminal defense law firm in Michigan, for penalties associated with crimes such as a federal felony got murder. For hire includes 3 different penalties, but this is largely based on the facts of the case. If a person is actually killed, the penalty is life in jail or the death penalty and up to a $250,000 fine. If a person receives personal injury, the penalty ranges from 0 to 20 years in prison and/or a fine. If there is no death or major injury, the penalty runs from 0 to 10 years in prison and/or a fine. But the rapper is no stranger to legal troubles. In 2019, Lil Durk faced several felony charges, including criminal, attempt to commit murder, aggravated assault, participation in criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon for his suspected role in a shooting. This was after a man was shot in the leg following a fight between a group in the parking lot of the Varsity on Spring Street in May 2019. Lil Durk reduced his touring time to report to the Fulton County Jail following the 2019 killing. Both Lil Durk and King Vo were charged, and they both appeared in court. However, in 2022, the OFF founder was soon acquitted. According to Durk's lawyer, Manny Aurora, his client was innocent, and he vowed to try to get the charges erased from Lil Durk's records since it was never proven, and the prosecutors decided not to pursue the case. It has been 3 years since these dropped charges, and unfortunately, for Lil Durk, he is dealing with a new batch of charges, which prosecutors hope to prove this time. Meanwhile, in the outside world, the rapper is fast losing recognition. He was given the key to the village of Broadview, but this honorary gesture was soon retracted following his arrest. The village did not hide their reason. In fact, they maintained their desire to end any partnership with the rapper's nonprofit.